Hey, what's up, everybody? On this week's film review, we're going to be taking a look at Jordyn Brooks and his Week 7 game against the Arizona Cardinals, where he filled the stat sheet racking up 9 tackles, 3 of them for loss, a half sack, and a pass deflection. We're going to be taking a look at the film at every impact play that Brooks was involved in and see where these stats came from and the impact he had on the game as a whole. So here's the first defensive play of the game for Seattle. They're going to be in what's essentially a cover 1 look, where Jordyn Brooks is going to be manned up on this tight end right here. There seems to be some sort of miscommunication here, though, because once the ball's snapped, the tight end is going to cross Jordyn Brooks' face, where he should stick with him. But he seems to think he has the running back, which should be Julian Love's guy. This leads to a wide open completion. Not a great first play from Jordyn Brooks. This is going to be second and short, where Arizona is going to dial up a very nice play action pass. They're going to pull this guard to really sell the run. Every linebacker bites down, including Brooks. And this allows this tight end to get wide open behind them. Dobbs ends up missing him for what should have been an easy completion. That is a negative passing play for Brooks, but I'm going to chalk it up to the fact that that's just a fantastic play call. Here, Arizona is going to dial up a stretch play to the left side of the screen, and Brooks is going to flow with the play nicely. He's going to fill the cutback lane by using his superior athleticism to get right around the offensive tackle, where he would have met the cutback had Jamal Adams not made a play of his own. That's a phenomenal rep from Jordyn Brooks. Here's a nice power run by Arizona. This lead blocker is going to come right at Jordyn Brooks. Jordyn Brooks does a pretty decent job stacking him. However, you'd like to see a little more pushback on his end, but he does a good enough job to close the gap, which is going to create this big mess because this puller can't fit through. The running back eventually gets tackled. It's an overall pretty nice rep from Jordyn Brooks. This is going to be a passing play where Jordyn Brooks is going to be in this Tampa 2 role, and I want to show it specifically from this angle because I want to show Jordyn Brooks' eyes on this play and where he goes wrong. See, he's staring at Dobbs, and he takes his eyes off of him for a second. Just a split second to see what's happening over here, which means he misses this pass. He's going to react late. That's going to lead to a completion. That's a negative pass coverage rep from Brooks. Here, Arizona has a counter dialed up, and there's a few things I want to highlight here. First is going to be Jamal Adams, who washes himself out of this play, even though he's supposed to be outside contained. He gets too far upfield. Next is Jordyn Brooks, who uses the swap move he really likes to use, and he gets his guy cleared out of the way. Cutback is not an option. This is a nice play from Brooks. But because Adams isn't there, this is going to be a long run from DeMarcado. This is a good play from Brooks and a bad play from Adams. Here's a power run by Arizona, and what I really want to highlight here is the difference between Brooks and Wagner. As soon as the ball snaps, Wagner's diagnoses this as a run. He's ready to attack the line of scrimmage, uses a good move on the guard. He's ready to make a play. Brooks has let this play come to him. He's letting the blocker come to him. There's not enough aggressiveness here, and he essentially takes himself out of the play. Here's a stretch zone play to the left, and what's really concerning here is the processing speed of Jordyn Brooks. He takes far too long to diagnose that Joshua Dobbs doesn't have the ball anymore. He's essentially just frozen in place right here. And if Boye Mafe doesn't make such a great play, I'm not so sure that he's ready for a cutback from the running back. It takes a concerning amount of time for him to diagnose this play. Here the Cardinals have a sneaky little end around called, and Jordyn Brooks actually sniffs this out the entire time. But once he gets blocked and sealed by this offensive lineman, he's done. He simply can't disengage. It's a good diagnosis, but he really just lacks the physicality to get through that block. Here's a read option for the Cardinals. And first, Darrell Taylor bites a little too hard on this run, which means Dobbs is going to keep it. And Brooks should be getting flat downfield at this moment. He sees Dobbs has the ball. He has this unnecessary interaction with the lineman, though, and he does this little rip move, takes a step upfield. This sets him up with a really poor angle. He's unable to make this tackle, which leads to a Dobbs touchdown. That's a bad rep from Brooks. Here we're going to have a misdirection run from Arizona, and I want to compare Brooks and Wagner again, because they're dealing with identical situations here. Both are going to get blocked at the second level, and look at how differently they handle it. Wagner rips right through this lineman, gets himself free. Brooks has not initiated contact at all. He let the contact come to him, gets driven back about 7 yards off the ball because he stood straight up. I don't think the play result is on him, but that's an awful rep by him, especially compared to how Wagner handled the exact same situation. Here's an outside run play from Arizona, and Brooks is going to do a nice job tracking the ball carrier down the line. You'd like to see more physicality fighting through this block, but he does at least put himself in the position to draw a holding penalty, so I'll give him credit for that. Here's a pretty cool read option play design from Arizona. The center and this guard are both going to pull, which is going to leave these two interior guys in the exact same gap. And with Derek Collis shooting in, this means Brooks has to keep outside contain all by himself. He's going to get erased by these two guards, though, and there's not much he can do about that. Outside's open, and it's a nice gain. I think this is a really good play call. Here's a play that highlights a lot of Jordyn Brooks' strengths as a linebacker. This is going to be a naked bootleg to the right. He's able to quickly diagnose, and as soon as he diagnoses it, he's able to use his insane straight line speed to track down Dobbs. He gets himself a sack. It's a nice play by Brooks, and it's really nice seeing him use his athleticism like that. Here's a halfback dive from the Cardinals, and you're going to see Jordyn Brooks' insane athleticism here. He's able to essentially juke out this blocker, plants his foot, goes right around him. He's free to make this tackle, and if Jarran Reed isn't getting blown up 5 yards off the ball, this is probably a play in the backfield or at the very least at the line of scrimmage. Great rep from Jordyn Brooks. Here's an identical play that the Cardinals ran earlier when Jordyn Brooks was getting held. It's going to be this outside run play to Rondale Moore. This time, Brooks isn't going to get blocked. He's able to use his insane speed to track down Moore and make a real nice tackle. That's a great play from Brooks. Here we have a design quarterback run from the Cardinals, and they're going to send this running back in motion to the other side of the field. This is really going to mess with Jordyn Brooks, who even after the ball snapped is frozen in place, stuck wondering whose guy this is. He even takes a false step in that direction. This allows Dobbs to get the edge. He makes the tackle, but it's for an easy 7-yard gain. You just like to see him operate with more confidence. That way, this deer in the headlights thing that seems to happen to him every so often just stops happening. This is going to be a Cardinals passing play, and this is an example of a perfect rep from Jordyn Brooks. Him and Wagner are going to drop back, protect the sticks. Brooks is going to see that Dobbs is looking at this check down. He's already breaking. Great breaking speed, great tackle, no notes. Here the Cardinals have a screen pass to number 4. 4 is going to come to this side of the field. Brooks knows that that's his responsibility. He does a real nice job tracking him, disengaging with this block, even finding him through all this traffic. Is able to come up, make a tackle on him. That's a real nice tackle and a good play by Brooks. This is an Arizona passing play against Seattle cover 4, and in this cover 4, Brooks is going to be responsible for this underneath area of the field. The ball's going to snap. He's going to see this route cross his face, breaks on it. He's there as soon as the ball gets there, gets himself a real nice pass breakup. That's a phenomenal rep from Jordyn Brooks. My final thoughts on Jordyn Brooks can best be summed up in a series of pros and cons. The pros, and the biggest pro of all, is that he's a freak athlete who possesses great sideline-to-sideline speed, along with a package of nice finesse moves that allows him to get around or avoid blocks altogether. He will more often than not be the best athlete inside the box, and combine that with the fact that he's a very, very good tackler, and you have the makings of a very good run defender. Now, as far as his pass coverage, he's much improved from where he was when he was first drafted out of Texas Tech, which he was a straight-up negative in pass coverage at that point. But he's still not where you'd like him to be. I don't believe he's able to process passing concepts and where he's supposed to be on the field to defend those concepts in a timely manner. And I believe Seattle shares the same belief because in obvious passing situations, they take him out and opt for a dime look where Bobby Wagner is featured as the singular linebacker. All this despite the fact that Wagner is nowhere near the athlete that Brooks is at this point in his career. But my biggest issue with Brooks is his lack of physicality. If he can't use his speed to get by a blocker, then he's simply out of the play. And because of this, he doesn't attack gaps with the same aggressiveness that Bobby Wagner does, and oftentimes will allow blockers to come to him, get in his chest, which leads to him being washed out of the play completely. He lacks the ability entirely to fight through blocks or to disengage when being blocked. If he's able to add that element of physicality into his game, I believe Brooks could become a premier run defender in this league. He's a very good asset for Seattle, and I really look forward to seeing how he develops in the future.